This is Elliot WaveSage. Want to go ahead and do a quick update for everyone. And like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Market had a big sell-off today. Uh, it could have been a lot worse, but there was I think the news that really rattled the market today was one, Finland joining NATO and Russia's response for retaliation. Also, there was another jobs report that came out that showed job openings are decreasing, which is a recessionary sign. So the cyclical sector sold off, and of course you had the Trump arrest today. So you had three really bad news events that I think contributed to sentiment to push this lower. So the question is the top in? Was this the greatest opportunity to short the market, perhaps in your lifetime? This passed you by? Maybe, maybe not, because we could still. There's always a chance we can make another high until we can get a little more separation. So really, tomorrow's key. If we get follow through on the upside, or we drop. Now, if we get follow through on the upside, it still just gives everyone another chance to get in because the divergences that we saw here will only be even more extreme. So it's just going to be a quick little pump into this area if it happens, and we'll go from there. And then the cues in this area, again, it could still make a little pop up here, the 322.23. We'll have to wait and see. It could also do blow off top for wave 5 of this wave, and potentially just like melt up and squeeze max like a candle that looks like this and then just collapse. We tend to see that at the end of some of these moves, these kind of like extreme pumps like here. So we may see something like ridiculous like that, but just know what it is and understand the situation if we get that. If we start going down, then the cycle's over. IWM, I believe the cycle's over. 1, 2, and this could be another 1, 2. It could be a 3, 4. A lot of options. The Dow Jones, I believe the cycle's over too. Again, another. I think you put it here 1, 2, and again 3, 4, 5, or it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. The futures market again. The ES hit the area and puked down. The Nasdaq struggling, even if it can make another high. The Russell just missed the area and it puked down. So we are getting close to starting our journey lower. It is going to be sad for a lot of people as we come down. It could be choppy. I can't rule out a crash. I can't rule out an end of the grand super cycle. So those are possibilities, but it will take obviously something really bad to happen. Perhaps, Russia will really retaliate for, Finland joining NATO beyond what anyone could expect. Or maybe it's something different. But we don't know what that news event is going to be, but I do think we're starting our march lower today. It'll in some instruments, some stocks, but I think the ES and Nasdaq, it's not too clear. Maybe the Nasdaq the most, because people really don't want to give up the stocks they love so much. I mean, people just love the tech stocks so much. It's such a psychological safety net for people. People really use it as kind of like a market pacifier for hard times. But I will tell you, when earnings growth slows, those stocks are going to get killed. And there's plenty of history to show, during the dot-com era, we had Microsoft, Cisco. You had these, pillars of, strength, and they eventually succumbed to the bear market. So if you're really falling for the narrative of hiding out in Apple and Microsoft, or I'm never gonna sell them, well, you could end up losing 50% of whatever you have in there, and I just hope you're okay with that. They could come back. It may take a while. Could take even a decade. Again, go look at Microsoft chart. in the early 2000s after it corrected. Um, so you got to do what's best for you. But I think people are super complacent in technology, and I think they don't understand when a recession and when growth slows, people will not be buying iPhones, guys. They just won't do it. And when we start losing jobs and people are unemployed, they definitely won't be buying iPhones or computers, and those things aren't going to be purchased. So they'll get hit with the slowdown. Of course, the dollar was pummeled today, which really gave silver and gold the fuel it needed. So now we can really, I think, update these charts. It made its move. I feel confident now where we are with the count. So on the weekly time frame, we're erasing divergence here. So that would tell me that we're in like a 1-2-1-2 moment. So gold is more bullish because it had a chance to consolidate more. That pushed it out with a strong, thrust today. So gold, if this is a higher degree wave 5, gold could see 2367, 28. I'm sorry, 2188, 2367. This is where it would top out for a major cycle top, because again, this is wave 5 of a major cycle that goes all the way back. So if that's the case, I'm on back to 2015. So if that's the case, then this drop will be dramatic, and this will be a massive risk-off move in the market, and this would be dollar strength. So what this is telling me is we got more dollar weakness and a lot of dollar strength on the horizon. If this is not a 4, if it's a 1, 2, it's going to do this again here, a 1, 2, 1, 2, or if it's just, let's say I have to count off just a little bit, 1, 2, if it's a 3 of 3, well, now where could we go? So let's give you a different target, because it could always accelerate. We need to keep an eye on that. So that would bring gold up to 25,000, 3,000, but most likely would hit the 3,500 area. We'll know that pretty soon. Now, silver broke a massive area of resistance. It made a major technical break today, bullish, breaking its downtrend line. So again, bigger picture, this bear forecast is negated, in my opinion. Now we're going back to what we said before, run-in flat. We have a run-in flat, and we have a simple 1-2 that just the wave 2 is finished, and now we're going in 3. So silver is telling you that we got a major problem on our hands in terms of inflation and weak dollar weakness. So for my thinking on silver is, now that it broke the high, if I can get a pullback, any kind of dip, I want to aggressively buy it. So I do want to get a dip. Now, I wouldn't just market buy it here, because it could still be a flat. But even if it's a flat, because it broke the high and it's enough nature of a flat, means it'll continue higher in the end. So even if it does do that, but that would be a massive gift the market would give you to get back in on the trade. If it does that, if it does a flat, if it just surprises us and reverses down. But I don't think it's going to. I think it's ready to roll here. And so now you just want really, if you can negate the flat, you want to look for pullbacks to go long. And I like the metal versus the miners for now. So then Bitcoin again is trying to decide if it wants to push up higher in wave 5 or not, but it's coming. It should be ending its cycle soon too. Oil is close to ending its cycle here to pull back off this low at 64. Then bonds dipped, but I'm not. If we can break the low, then we'll head down to these lower areas before higher rates. The 2-year could still be in B. I would be surprised if it's this. We'll see if we get a bounce. The dollar index is in a different count now. It's impulsive. So the way I'm going to change the label to a WXY and an ABC for an X. And now we're finishing the first A leg. So this B bounce should give us a pullback in gold and silver, the buy. Should pull back on the market, or should be, we'll see. And then this move should be gold and silver pumping. And then perhaps the market bounces from the first pullback. And then when we get to this wave, when this ends, then I think you get the massive drop in the market. The massive drop in gold to correct that cycle that I showed you. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But the dollar has been really weak, really weak. So for now, this bounce may not happen. And we'll have to wait and see. But I think for now, we could expect up this. And I do think that would allow the market to sell off down into this area. And then that dollar will bounce, and this too probably will come back up to do something like that. And then you get like whatever crash we're going to get. And again, if here could be the grand super cycle crash, it could be a correction, it could be a lot of things. And I think that's how it will line up with the dollar, where you drop, then you get that pump, and then you get this crash. And I believe that lines up with gold now, where gold, you get this pump, and then you get this drop or crash, or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I'm thinking. How does that line up with silver? We'll see how this pattern develops for now. It could be a more complex correction within this wave too. So you may not want to get. I guess there's always a possibility that it is some type of WXY like that. There's always that possibility. But I do think now that we broke this high, we should still go higher, at least, until we get to $26, $27 silver. And then we'll have to wait and see if the market's going to do this kind of maneuver, which may be more probable, for now, something like that, and then the massive pump when it's all said and done. So that's this update. Let's go through some other stocks just so people can see what I'm looking at right now. Technology-wise, AI destroyed in a flat. I believe I think I may have shown this in my last video, but down, and I did show BBAI. I warned you in my last video about BBAI, and it looks like it is corrective going down. But yeah, tech, some of it was kind of struggling. Some of it, again, people just don't want to sell it because they're just kind of brainwashed into believing they'll always go higher in tough times. Saw Zimmer sell off. It hit the buy area at 18 flat in this flat correction, but in the cycle you have a 1 2 1 2 3 4, so you still need a 3 4 5. So I'll keep an eye on Zim and see if that's a buy. But if we do end up breaking the low here, then it negates this chart, and I would be worried about it. Commodities pulled back, of course. It was kind of a fake out, and I'm not a fan of the producers at this point, even though oil and the commodity may move up. Okay, so the market in general will be a decision tomorrow to continue down to confirm these peaks, or we'll get one last little surprise pump, which will be, again, a huge gift to short. And it's so surprising the market gave us such an opportunity to accumulate comfortably a short position. It's just really bizarre how it just kind of have stayed up here and really does not want to sell off. I mean, look, this E is in the perfect position here. You see, just the perfect position for this. So when we do drop, when we do come down to like 374, the way I would trade this is, of course, short in this area. Here, I will want to take profit in anticipation of some kind of bounce. And it could be a one hell of a bounce, too. Be careful with that. And then I would reload some shorts. Here, the only way I would not do that is if other instruments show that we broke through this lower boundary. So we have to wait and see. But my idea is drop to 374, 370s, lighten up a little bit, watch for the bounce, the back test, and then look for a crash wave. And this crash wave, I mean, I don't know where it will end up, but that's the idea. If we don't get this, it could still surprise us. It could do that. It could even do something like this, or it could really surprise us and do something like this. You know, we don't know, but something really negative is about to hit the market. And whatever it is, it's like I said, it's going to cause people to want to dump Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Nvidia like you wouldn't believe. They'll want to sell at any price. Sell, sell. That's what's going to happen. So it's going to be something, it's got to be something that's going to cause a lot of inflation or rates to rise. And because that's the only way I think you can get that kind of panic across the technology sector. Or if we get news, we wake up, China's invaded Taiwan, I would absolutely believe tech will get crushed because Apple will be impacted, semiconductors, and that will be a massive calamity. So I do think that could also do it. We'll see which one, what happens soon enough.